Well, I still feel fine. I hope you do too. Hi, YouTube. Welcome to another exciting adventure of current Christian commentary and news with your host, the conservative Christian pastor. Yes, I actually am a real pastor of a real church, if you can believe that. Hopefully, you're going to learn to love. Listen, so much to talk about. As I said a couple of weeks ago, where do I start? I could spend a whole show talking about this story right here. Look at this. John Kerry, State Department, funneled millions of dollars into his daughter's nonprofit organization.
Well, isn't that special?
The corruption just doesn't end. I think that's one of the reasons why. And I got to be honest with you, I am not a huge Trump supporter. I am a massive anti-Hillary, anti-Obama supporter. And this is probably the last election, maybe or two. Might be another one. If Trump wins and wins re-election, there might be hope to turn this country around. My hope is in Almighty God. My faith rests in his son, Jesus Christ. I hope yours does too. So, why would a pastor, why would I delve into this stuff? I mean, look at this. This is disgusting. Kerry, who's he's a multi-millionaire, but only because he married into it. Senator Heinz from Pennsylvania, heir to the Heinz ketchup fortune, married a crazy woman by the name of Teresa Heinz. And I believe Senator Heinz, if I'm not mistaken, he was killed. I'm not sure if it was an airplane crash or he had a heart attack. Doesn't matter. At any rate, his wife Teresa, who is literally insane, she's nuts. That's why you don't see her anymore. John Kerry marries her for the money. And now, of course, look, the corruption just goes so deep. I'm not going to talk about this today. Forget about it. What I want to talk about is the corruption of Hillary. Those of you who are really Bernie Sanders supporters, say that 3 times real fast. And you think that you were a Bernie guy because he was anti-establishment and he was going to really put it to the man. No chance of that happening, but dream on. Now, is there a chance of Trump putting it to the man? I don't know, but Trump seems to be an anti-globalist. And the reason why I am anti-globalist, and believe me, folks, the Bible says it's going to happen, so it's going to happen. All we can hope to do is stave off the one world government and the one world monetary system, because this will usher in the one world leader the Bible knows as the Antichrist. Now, many of you will say, well, we're just going to get raptured out of here before that happens. I hope you're right. I really do. But I just don't see it in Scripture. And I was a dyed-in-the-wool pre-tribulation rapture guy for 24 years. Heck, fire. I was closer to Tim LaHaye, the author of the Left Behind series. Matter of fact, I'm even... Well, it's not. They don't mention me by name, but I'm a character. Was based on my life in the second book. Story for another day. I don't want to get into that today. So skipping. You have Hillary Clinton, who a lot of her supporters think she's not corrupt. Folks, she is beyond corruption when it comes to being a globalist. She's literally in bed and she takes orders from the global elites, the central bankers, the ones who pull all the strings, the George Soroses. And so you get a guy by the name of Muammar Gaddafi, the Libyan leader. You know who I'm talking about, right? There he is, Muammar Gaddafi. And he's the leader in Libya. You'll remember back in the 80s, he decided to go to war with Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan bombs the heck out of him. His little daughter is killed. So Gaddafi cries uncle. He says, all right, I'll be a good little boy. And so Reagan says, all right, be a good boy, we'll leave you alone. And for all this time, 30, 40 years now, until his death, Gaddafi was a pretty good boy. He played ball. And all of a sudden comes Obama and Hillary Clinton as the Secretary of State. And now Hillary Clinton, takes credit to please the central bankers for the death of Muammar Gaddafi. I mean, just the pride in the fact that she killed a human being. It's just sick. But as many of you know, she's killed a lot more than Muammar Gaddafi. But at any rate, watch her. Just watch the pride and arrogance. What does the Bible say that God hates? A proudy, a haughty spirit, and a proudy heart, or a proud heart, a prideful look. At any rate, here she is.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died. Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
All right, so she gets her marching orders from the central bankers, and I'm sure Obama acquiesced to it. Kill Muammar Gaddafi. Take him out. Now, why? Why would they risk assassinating a world leader? Well, for one, Gaddafi, even though he's been a good little boy, he literally was threatening. And here's where it gets really. Here's what's going to come out next week. I'm going to guess somewhere around September 20th. It's going to come out through WikiLeaks that the real reason why Gaddafi was killed by Hillary Clinton is because he was threatening to go back to the gold standard. What? What does that have to do with anything? Oh, yeah. Look, the petrodollar is literally what the central bankers and the elites and the globalists are counting on right now. As soon as the world, Russia, China, as soon as they go off the petrodollar, like Gaddafi was threatening to do, our economy probably crashes. At the very least, you're looking at hyperinflation of the dollar. It will become relatively useless. Yeah, just like in the Great Depression. I mean, you'll have a basket of money, and isn't it interesting? The Bible talks about, you know, a basket of money. These are my words. For a loaf of bread, you know, a week's wages, a month's wages for a loaf of bread, and that's coming, folks. It is coming. I think you're going to see a tremendous escalation. Remember where you heard it first. You're going to see a tremendous escalation in Libya as the global elitists, who now I realize are pulling the strings, who absolutely have Hillary Clinton in their back pocket and who are absolutely vehemently against Donald Trump presidency. Why? Because they don't own him. They can't now. Will he be bought? I don't know. Will they bump him off? I don't know. Now, I've met Mike Pence at least once or twice. At least once. Good man, good Christian man. But I don't know that he's going to risk this life and safety of his family to go against the globalists and the world elitists. I don't know that he's got the courage. I don't know that I'd have the courage, to be honest with you, if it came down to my family. But this is what's going to come out next week. The real reason why Gaddafi was killed, not because he threatened his people. You know, Obama tried to pull that one with Assad in Syria. Oh, he's a bit. No. If there was elections today, Assad would win a fair election in Syria by about 87%. They love him. Why? Well, because he's like Donald Trump. He's a nationalist. He wants his country first. And I think that's one of the reasons why, if Donald Trump wins, that'll be the reason. We are now shifting, and this is throughout history, folks. It's really not unpredictable. We're shifting to a nationalist movement. I almost hope that we do, only because it will buy us a few more years as Christians to get the word out, to spread the gospel. The whole reason why I'm making this video, it's only 8 or 9 minutes long. The whole reason why I'm making this video is because I'm predicting right now, somewhere around September 20th, give or take, maybe towards the 22nd, you're going to hear the real reason why Hillary had Gaddafi killed was because he threatened to go back to gold. Now, and again, if you go back to gold, then you've got real currency. If your money, when Nixon took us off the gold standard for the dollar bill, and those of you that are a little older, you remember, silver certificates. You could actually, at one time, go to the bank and get $2 worth of silver for your certificate. Of course, that's ridiculous now, and this is what's caused, the massive inflation, the hyperinflation that we're getting ready to suffer now, which will ultimately lead to a depression, which, of course, is going to lead to a war. My guess is it's going to be in Libya, because the oil, even though they're going to say they're going against ISIS, they're not going against ISIS. Obama calls them ISIL. Why? Because he wants to continue to spit in the face of Israel. But I think the war is going to escalate very quickly in Libya because of the oil. They'll use ISIS as an excuse. But it all started, folks, with Hillary agreeing to the central bankers to kill Gaddafi because he was getting ready to go back to the gold standard where we should actually be. He also, by the way, we're going to find out, he also surrendered. He was willing to walk, he was willing to leave his country. Bit of a coward to stay alive. He died a horrible death. Most of you know that. All right, I've been rambling on here a little bit. I just want you to know this story is going to be huge next week, thanks to WikiLeaks. You know what's interesting about I won't belabor the point, but it's interesting to me that the Democrats and Hillary, they're trying to blame Russia for these leaks and these WikiLeaks releases and the slow drip of steady facts that are coming out about Hillary and the Democrats. But not once have I heard them deny the actual facts. Oh no, that never happened. Oh no, they say, oh, it's Russia. They're not saying, oh, that never happened, or that's not true, or that's fake. No, you haven't heard her say that one bit. It's all true, folks. Debbie Wasserman Schultz sabotaged any chance Bernie Sanders had at being elected to being the Democratic nominee. It's been in the bank. It's been in the works that Hillary would be the nominee. That was never going to change. The only thing they didn't count on was the American public wanting to make America great again. If the election cannot be stolen electronically, through computers or viruses or whatever. I'm not an expert at this stuff. But if the election cannot be stolen, it seems that Donald Trump will be our next president of the United States. Very similar to Ronald Reagan. I just heard a video tonight when a guy who's very knowledgeable say that Jimmy Carter actually wanted Ronald Reagan as his opponent, as opposed to Bush or Jack Kemp or one of those, simply because he thought Reagan was such a clown, was such a buffoon, that that's who Jimmy Carter wanted to run against. How'd that work out? I think the same mistake is being made by Hillary Clinton and the Democrats right now. I think they realize what a mistake it was, what a miscalculation it was. But I do hope that the Lord makes America great again. He can only do that if we stand up against the man, if we stand up against the global elitists led by Hillary Clinton. Hey, God's best to you and yours. Until next time, I hope you'll remember to subscribe. Join my Facebook page. Actually, you can engage me in conversations there. I check that Facebook page several times a day. I'm sorry I can't get to all your comments on the YouTube. Your comments are literally, thank you to Google or YouTube, they're literally being put in spam for no rhyme or reason. So if I don't respond to your comments, specifically anything that you say to me or ask of me, it's only because blame YouTube. Is not me doing it. Join my Facebook and you'll be able to get a hold of me, at least for the time being. God bless you and yours. It really is the end of the world as we know it, but I feel fine. I hope you do too. We'll see you next time. God bless.
This house is sure gone crazy.